Hello out there, Sharon Froshin again, the Chief Operating Officer for the Discover Your Path U platform, where we believe that every life can teach and everyone can grow. To that end, I am also the host of the Connection Sessions, this show, where we bring together practitioners, entrepreneurs, artists, marketers, spiritualists, mentors, and students from an array of industries to help compassionate care professionals connect to community, learn, and grow. With me today, I am super excited about having someone who I have known for several months now, Shannon Zarnsy, who is an empowerment coach. Shannon is one of those people that just authentically and organically gives back to the world without really even thinking about it. And as such, she's an absolute joy to have in your life, as well as an absolute joy to be coached by. So Shannon, if you wouldn't mind introducing us to who you are, to what kind of coaching you do, and to how you got into it, I would greatly appreciate it.
Alrighty. Hello, everybody. Shannon here. My coaching business is Gifts of Peace and Love. I came about coaching in a roundabout kind of way. I've always wanted to teach. That was my big thing. I wanted to teach. About 5 years ago, I'm like, I'm going to teach meditation. And then I'm going, but I don't do meditation very often. Oh, I can't do that yet. And then Dr. Wayne Dyer, his book, I Can See Clearly Now, came to me. And I found myself living blocks away from where he grew up.
Wow.
Not too long after getting this book. And it dawned on me where I wanted to go. I have been in situations in my life where I didn't need the pills. I didn't need the therapist or the psychologist. I just needed somebody to point me in the right direction. And I just wasn't finding it. So I decided to become what I couldn't find. And
that's the best way to do it.
Yeah. And just help people. Just sometimes, that little extra kick that we all need every once in a while when we're stuck in that fear that we can get that happens to us.
Well, thank you. One of the things that I like about what you've been doing most recently is you just took a electronic cleanse, correct? Where you kind of went off of social media for a week. Why don't you share with us what that was like and what happened? And right quickly before you do that, I just want to say hello to Susan Darling Spurrier, who's with us and says, hi, Shannon and Sharon. So hello, Susan, but please proceed.
I was actually expecting myself to be a little more fidgety and a little bit more, oh my gosh. But the first day was very, I'm not even sure how to say it.
Take your time.
Cleansing is definitely a good word. I really don't miss it all that much. I left my phone in the car while I was at work.
Wow.
It gave me that quiet time. It's amazing how quickly our brains can shut off when we don't have that distraction in our face. And I found myself being able to actually do small meditations with a room full of people.
Oh, wow.
And I'm going, whoa, well, that's a new experience. Right on. My drives to work are always incredible. Always incredible. Looks like I'm going through a tunnel of trees down the road that we go on.
Oh, nice.
But not having that distraction before I walk out the door, I have seen just some amazing things. Today I had a white moth on my car, and she did not leave until I moved. So I was like, oh, the deer, they like stand at the side of the road and just watch and kind of wiggle their ears like they're waving or something. It's just been being able to just notice more than just the physical outside world has been like a wonderful experience.
That does sound like it's wonderful. So, why don't you share with us, as an empowerment coach, somebody who is all about helping somebody find their authentic selves and get grounded in that? How did this experience help you with your coaching?
Um, I feel lighter. I feel
Mm,
I have more space
yeah,
to allow someone in. Um, and I just want to get people to learn how to do that themselves, to
yeah,
just so that they can continue with having that space. Man, if we could all just have that space that interlocks just a little bit,
right.
it would just joyous.
I so agree with you. I have recently moved halfway across the country, and I'm living by myself right now, which I actually haven't done at any other point in my life. And I'm finding that being able to set new rules for myself about when I wake up, when do I pick up my phone? You know, do I meditate before I pick up my phone? And in all honesty, can I meditate after I've picked up my phone? You know, all of these questions. And it's so interesting how the tool that we as coaches often are required to use to build an online business can also be so destructive when it comes to keeping our own personal lives well
Yeah.
oiled and flowing. So if you had a client that was coming to you and saying that they were struggling with this, what are some of the tips and tricks you learned in this last week on, like, for instance, leaving your phone in the car while you're at work? What are some of the tips and tricks that you learned maybe at home for how to detox and remove this from your life as much as possible?
I put it on the other side of the room.
Ah, good point.
I use it as an alarm because, alarm clocks, I don't think any of us have alarm clocks anymore because of the phones. I keep it as far away from my head as possible.
Hmm.
If I need to listen to music, I put my tablet, which doesn't have Facebook on it.
Nice.
There's not the Facebook icon sitting there. Yes, I could go
Tempting
on the
you.
browser. Yeah, I could go on the browser, but that's just more work. Why do I want to keep poking all the buttons when one would work, right?
Yeah.
So, and the tablet is just used for audiobooks and
Hmm.
meditation music. That's the only thing that I use it for. Um, keep the phone turned off.
Great point.
Um, if you don't need to be on it, then don't be on it. Have those important conversations in person instead of via text.
What a concept.
Right, right. That is when I started on my journey, the whole life balance thing,
Hmm.
the workbooks and stuff like that that are out and about, was connecting with my family. And oh man, and that right there, you're sitting at the table with your friends and family, put that phone off to the side.
Yeah.
Or just have that face-to-face conversation, no
Mm-hmm.
matter how tough they can be, even if you haven't had those conversations for a while. It's so much more important than, oh, what did Alex say on Facebook today? Just
I do.
no, you know. And then we have Instagram and we've got Twitter, and it's like,
Pinterest.
oh gosh, I signed up for Pinterest. I don't even get on there.
If I
I'm
get
like,
on there, I come to like 15 hours later, like, what just happened?
I work maybe once once a week or once every other week. I get on Twitter and Instagram, and
You are
unless
disciplined.
I have to be,
Yeah.
um, staying focused is difficult for my brain, like very much so, always has been. Um, one of my other tools that is scheduling.
Hmm.
I don't have it handy, but I just took graph paper and redid it. I graphed out when I'm driving,
Oh,
when I'm
wow.
at work, when I go to bed and have to be in bed. There's no ifs, ands, or about it.
That's a good idea.
When my body doesn't lay down for 8 hours, my legs don't like to work.
Yeah.
After walking for 8 hours, then sitting for 4, driving, back and forth from work, it's just, it doesn't, they're like, nope, you're going to lay here for another 2 hours. So.
Well, it's really good to see you taking that amount of responsibility, because I know that there are a lot of empowerment coaches out there that preach empowerment and then don't practice it in their own personal life. And you can really see that in their practice and in the way that they use different tools in with their clients and with the programs that they create. And it's very obvious to see that what's being preached isn't being practiced. So it's good to have that little window into your personal life. And really quickly, I just want to say hello to Monique, to Mary, who says, hey, ladies, and to Dave Gieselman, who says, what's up, ladies? Hey, everybody.
Hi.
So I'd like to go back, kind of circle back around to Wayne Dyer, who is just this amazing man. How has working with him and delving into his work helped you with empowering other people?
I'm getting goosebumps just even.
That's the way we like it, girl.
My very first book from him was Change Your Thoughts, Change Your Life,
Yeah.
Living the Life of the Tao. And that book I got over 20 years ago. I gave it to somebody. 5 years later, I get it again. I gave it to somebody. And now I have audio, I have Kindle, I have physical, I have
Yeah.
I have myself covered right now.
Mm-hmm.
But just changing the way that I think and bringing more peace in my own mind and in my own heart and soul.
Yes.
Yeah, words just really can't describe it very much.
I understand
Just,
that.
Immensely. I had a dragon cloud show up one day, and one of the quotes that Dyer does in the book is from Confucius, talking about Lao Tzu being dragon-like.
Mm-hmm.
If that's not a sign that I'm going the right direction, I don't know what the heck could be.
It's always great to get those little signs, isn't it?
And I just want to everybody to feel that way.
Mm.
And in the process, I mean, it challenges me too to keep walking my talk.
Yes. One of the things that has always just drawn me to you is how freely you love. You are one of the most loving people I have ever met, and your heart is always out on your sleeve, not in that way of being lost or that really sappy way that a lot of people think of when I say that, more just present. You are so present and so ready to give of yourself to others. How has what you've been studying, or what are a few of the principles of what you've studied that lend themselves to that state of presence?
The first word that comes to mind is surrender.
Mm.
Believing in myself without conviction, without the roadblocks, and just support. Oh my gosh. I go into tears every time I think about everyone and everyone's support, and just how much more empowered I have become because of all of it.
Yes. That sense of community, that power of connecting to a community really can't be compared to anything else, can it?
No, no, and I used to be such a loner
Me
person.
too.
Just that, I don't need you people.
Yes.
And then Mary Sexton, she planted that seed. I have to give that woman some props. She had my first breakthrough session was with her, and she planted that seed, and here I go, here I come.
Interestingly enough, she's giving you props right now while you're talking. She says, yes, Shannon is a very loving person, gives me hope for the world. And I would have to agree with her there. There is and I don't mean this in a simplistic sense, there is a childlike wonder about you, just with life in general, where you're kind of like the person that gets invited to a party and is just happy to have been invited. There's no agenda. There's no, I have to be seen with the right people at the right time. It's just like, dude, I'm just so happy to be here. And I
Yeah,
love
yeah.
that about you.
That's what we need more of,
Yes.
you know, to be able to look at something and be like, ooh, what's that do? I blame my mom and I blame my brother. And, you know, like I said, I've said before, my mother was a very open-minded woman. She is a very open-minded woman, and she gave us that space
Mm,
to do what we needed to do to find ourselves and show us that love.
wow.
You
What a
know,
gift.
I got so blessed. And, you know, you don't see that as a teenager, right?
Of
You don't.
course not.
We don't see that, you know. And like I said, my brother, we work in the same area, so we drive, you know, we drive together, and it's just been so awesome. The last 5 years, I finally have realized how much of a connection with my family that I do have and how blessed I
Yeah.
really am. Um, my grandmother, who passed away over a year ago, um, I don't e her celebration of life, let's put it that way, because that's what it was. I see where a lot of how I am and how I've always felt came from.
Yeah.
Between her and my mom, and she's tugging on my ear right now. Um, um, and just trying to honor that, you
Yeah.
know, and give back.
Absolutely. Just want to take a really quick moment to say hello to Yvonne Stevenson, who just joined us. I'm like you. My maternal grandmother affected me quite a bit. She was a first grade teacher for almost 35 years. She was my safe place because my paternal grandmother was not well mentally and was given unfettered access to me, which went poorly. And I remember when my grandmother passed, this is also the grandmother that when I was getting high and was homeless, that I decided to come home and rob for whatever reason. We tend to hurt the people that we love the most. And at her, again, celebration of life, there was a line out the building and down around the block of people who came to see her and came to see her off and came to wish her well. And she was the kind of woman that to know her was to be welcomed and loved. That just was who she was. And even into her 90s, when you'd come into the house and be like, Grandma, hey, what are you doing? And she'd be like, anything and anyone I can. And she's in her 90s, and you're just like, man, I hope to God I have that spunk when I'm that age. And it's so
Yeah.
nice to have, as women, those examples of how to bring femininity into the world in a way that nurtures and inspires and grows the world around us rather than creates eye candy that people are drawn to because we honestly believe that that's all we're worth. So how does your grandma and your mother's influence in your life help you to be such a nurturing and present woman?
It just does. I can't put words to it. The space. I had that space to grow.
Yeah. Yes. That's an amazing sensation to not have the pressure of expectations from all around you as to what you're supposed to be or what you should be or what you should believe or what you should do, to just have that breathing room to be authentically ourselves, because that's where all of our power is. Don't you agree?
I do. Yeah, that's exactly where it's at. Yeah.
I just want to quickly also say hello to Robin, who's also joined us. Hey, Robin, it's good to see you. Yvonne also says hello. So if you were to say anything to the women who are watching this show right now who might not have had the same blessing that we did in having female role models that encouraged us to explore who and what we were and are, and to really step into that pillar of the divine femininity, that one that nurtures, that one that gives. What are some of the ways that you believe that we as women could get back to that role?
It's funny you say that, because this is the type of a workshop I'm actually working on.
Wow.
Woo! One of the biggest things that we as women have a hard time doing is committing to ourselves with self-care.
Oh, yes, Lord.
Everybody else will take care of everybody else but ourselves.
Yes.
So making that commitment to taking care of ourselves. And just taking action.
Yes.
Get out of that comfort zone. And one of the biggest is the support.
That community.
Yeah, a community, role models, mentors. Tell you what, y'all, I got a whole bunch of them. I have got this, I can't even say the word because I don't have my teeth in.
God, I
I
love you.
have this amazingly huge circle of women in my life that I can go to for anything, and that is the biggest thing. There is just this, having that support.
Yes.
And you don't just go out and find it. It kind of finds you.
If you're open to it, yes, it does.
It
Yes,
just
it
kind of
does.
finds you. But that's where, with my coaching, that's what I want to help grow. I've made a big step in my thinking. I'm planting myself in my hometown, and I'm sticking around for a while.
Awesome.
And I've decided I'm going to start reaching out into the community and seeing what I can do for the women in the community.
I am so proud of you.
I got to talk to a few of my connections and everything like that to get that started, so that I can start showing these women here that, yeah, we have this group right here that's just for us. Come on, let's go. Come have a coffee.
That is amazing. I love
Yeah.
that idea. And you speak to something that's such an integral part of how we as women can either be the force that lifts other women up or the force that just devastates other women. And that is that being present with each other, because we've been taught as women so thoroughly to look for the approval of men, that if you don't have a man in your life, or that if men don't approve of you, then there's something wrong with you. And as a result, we actually turn away from each other and start looking to men for what only a woman can bring into our lives. And I don't mean that men aren't supportive. I mean, Dave Gieselman, who's watching this show right now, is one of the biggest feminists that I know. But what I'm talking about is that nurturing connection between two women, like in matriarchal societies of old, where the women got together and raised the children. They shared recipes. They shared the ancient wisdom that had been passed down from family lines. And we learned from each other. We learned how to be better mothers, how to be better wives, how to be better leaders. And unfortunately, we just don't do that as much anymore as we used to. And instead, we take the opportunity to rip each other apart, especially on social media, to try and make ourselves look more attractive to the opposite sex, not understanding that there is nothing more attractive than a woman who is grounded in loving herself.
Yep.
It's so powerful. And I just can't tell you how proud I am of you that you're reaching out into your community to help bring that to where you live.
Yeah. It's needed everywhere. I mean, that's,
Indeed.
that's just a given. But like growing up around here, I've seen things just get worse.
Yeah.
And we have groups that are there trying to just throw that great energy out there, so I'm going to help build on that. I'm going to help build on that. And I'm really excited about getting it started. Next week is my all right, back into the swing of things kind of thing. Yep.
Back at it.
Oh yeah. Gloves off, man. We're going.
We're gonna get this done. Susan is saying, beautiful thoughts you're bringing us, Shannon. Thank you, and wonderful initiative. And I would have to echo that. That is an incredible initiative. It really is. So I am super excited that I had the chance to have you on the show, Shannon, because you are one of those people that you're like if I'm a moth, you're a flame. There's just something about being around you that is so soothing. And I appreciate you showing up with me to talk about how we as women can be more supportive to each other and to lead the way, to show us what you're doing to bring that about in your community. And I'm hoping that once you get this workshop put together, that I could have you back on the show again to kind of pitch your workshop and to help other women get an idea of what it is that you offer them here on social media platforms to bring that about in their own lives, in their own communities. Does that sound like it's doable?
Yep, sure does.
And Monique is saying, we are all behind you, so proud of you. And Susan says, thank you for the soothing, Shannon. So you've got just an incredible community of women here who just adore you, just like I do. So thank you for being here. If you are interested in connecting with Shannon to maybe further this conversation about how we as women can support each other, or to enlist her help as an empowerment coach, all of her contact information is in this Facebook Live post. There will also be a YouTube video later on that Shannon will be sharing to her own media assets that you can look to, as well as a podcast that we'll be putting out next week. So if you are interested in connecting with her, you have every tool that you need to do so. And we certainly do hope that you take the time to do that, because Shannon is an amazing individual. So thank you for being here. We will be back with the connection sessions at 1 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time next Monday, and we look forward to seeing you. Thanks, guys.